I found out my girlfriend cheated on me with my son and I want to cut them both off, but they're begging me to forgive them both. I wasn't planning to originally do an update because of so many abusive comments/texts received last time, but on the other hand, I had so much support. I thought I'd update those who have been supportive. So I basically met up with AJ, my ex. I asked her the truth, what went on and was there anything else going on previously. She was really passionately saying no. It literally was a case of her having a drink with her mates and my son was in the pub and they got drunk together. When they were sharing a taxi, he admitted he liked her, made a pass, and that was it. She was saying things like she'd never ever do it normally, but because hadn't seen me for a little while and he reminded her of me so much that night, it just happened. I told her to stop blaming the booze or anyone else and she needs to own it, no one else. I also was honest with her, that she's the first person I've let in, loved since my ex-wife died, and I've been happier with her in the past 3 years than I was for years before that. I told her I was even going to propose to her. She broke down, telling me again how sorry she is and asking me for another chance and that she'll never forgive herself. I told her she needs to one day so she can learn from this, but that's it for us. I'm blocking her number, email, and I don't want any contact again, and I left. I feel much better for meeting her. As devastated as I am, I do feel like that's a bit of closure. Simply to see that I don't really hate her, but actually pity her, through not being able to control her alcohol or keep it in her pants. It's cost her a relationship with someone she cares about and likely will affect her relationships for years to come. Not that I don't think she's any less responsible or deserves the outcome like. It also helped me to truly see how immature she is. Before this, I was blissfully ignorant because I was happy. Now, it's made me really conscious of it. Never again. Now my son. I realized the other day when I made my post, I was very angry and the way I was typing it seemed like it was going to flat out disown him. But let me stress, he's my son, my flesh and blood, and I love him dearly. He's also my wife's son and I could never just get rid of him for her. But he has let me down and really hurt me massively, and I have lost not just all respect but trust in him. So I met him also and heard his side of the story. It was largely the same as hers, but the difference was he said she was being really flirty with him and she said he really reminded her of me, and that's when he told her he had a crush and made his move. I told him what I wrote out above, that I love him but have no respect for him or can trust him anymore. I told him also about my plans, that I was going to propose to her and even have him as my best man. He was gutted, just really silent, and started crying. I told him we need to have no contact for a while. He needs to get a job and not work with me at weekends like he does at the moment, and we need to talk to my folks to see if he can stay with them for a bit. But in order to do so, I want him to be a grown-up and tell them why to their face and deal with it as a grown-up. So I drove him there and made him tell them. They were devastated, not just upset, but the look in my mom's eye, I'll never get over that. She told him how disappointed she was in him, and that she never thought he'd do something like this. I asked her if he can stay there for the foreseeable future but not for free. He has to pay his own way, proper board, contribute towards the bills, but his own food. She agreed out of respect for me. I also sat him down and showed him that I'd transferred over a large amount of money and explained that was the money I was saving for AJ's engagement ring, but seeing as what's happened, I want him to have that as a reminder and to use it to pay his grandparents' rent if no else. He was absolutely stunned at that, trying to give it to me back. I told him if he does that, we definitely are done. We've agreed on no contact at least until Christmas, and then we all, me, him, my folks, could spend Christmas together. I've been largely reflecting on the past few days, mainly on me and why I went for AJ in the first place. I was extremely flattered when she asked me out, even though I'd never normally consider anyone that young. But in hindsight, she was the same age as my wife when she died, the same ethnicity, mixed race, and also even did the same sort of job. So I guess I went for it because she was like my late wife. Which honestly, makes me really sad. I know I can't blame anyone else for that. But it also makes me realize that she, AJ, was only my second ever serious relationship in my life. Imagine that, a 37-year-old guy having that little relationship with a girl 5 years older than my son is a huge chunk of my relationship experience. It also makes me miss my wife massively. I've been just having a bit of me time the past few days, having an Alan Partridge marathon. That was mine and my wife's favorite thing to watch together. It helps me feel close to her when I'm down. Edited to add, I'm seeing if I can get in touch with my old therapist I was seeing after my wife died and making an appointment with him. I might see if he can take my son on too. Edit, a few people have pointed out we might not be able to see the same therapist due to a conflict of interest. I didn't think of that, so maybe I'll get a recommendation from him for someone else suitable. Thank you. I definitely need to work on myself before I ever date again. I think I have too many issues to be a good partner at the moment. And when I do, I'm not dating anyone her age again. I think I'll follow a strict 80s policy of only going for people born in the 80s and definitely no one born after 1989. Thank you and apologies for the wall of text.